AI in Action, Halldale's podcast series which looks at how civil aviation, military, and other safety-critical industries are adopting AI in training.
So hello and welcome. My name's Andy Fawkes. I'm special correspondent for the Halldale Group, and we run a monthly podcast. We've been doing AI in action, but this previously we've done about drones, and today we're doing more show specific on DSET, and we're going to hear all about that from a long time person I know, Tess Butler. So we're essentially we'd like to sort of get, instead of as well as the written word, we like to get what people have to say. So this is what this podcast series is all about. So I've got a few questions I want to ask, but I'm sure we'll kind of skip around a bit. But I wanted to start with you, Tess. For those, I mean, a lot of people in the industry and the military know you, but could you say a bit about yourself and how you got to this place right now, for your journey?
Sure. Really nice to see you again, Andy. And for those who don't know, obviously, Andy and I have known each other for too many years in that sense. So, yes, I have been in modelling simulation now for 29 years this year and wargaming for 25. I come from a non-traditional background. I think you'd agree. Daughter of a herdsman, dairy farm, first degree in Russian and Soviet studies. And it was whilst actually I was out in Russia that I started working with the Navy and putting technology into naval training. And then when I came back, looked at Army training and then Air Force as well. And it was really the widest sense of learning technologies. In those days, it was early PowerPoint, 1.0 or Lotus Notes. Everything seemed wildly exciting and you could do lots with it. Of course, simulation as well, from part-task trainers all the way through to the collective training environments. And I've worked in over 40 countries with 40 governments and militaries, actually delivering that, as well as being an advisor on both sides of the wire and dipping my toes in the academic pool as well, not least now I'm doing a PhD in all of this.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to touch on that. So I think I first met you when you were working for CAE, is that in the mid-noughties? Yeah. And you were
2003, something like that. Yeah.
Helping procurement people with some guidance. I think we're still working on that.
That's right.
Kind of guidance now.
You were main building, I think, weren't you, in London?
Yeah, well, that's a while ago now. Things have got a lot better, I'm sure, since then. So, so what attracted you to the industry? And you may have had opportunities to jump and do something else. What's kept, a bit like me, really? Why are you still doing this stuff?
Look, I didn't intend to be in the industry. I actually was going to join the armed forces, but then I had too good a time in Russia. I thought, I'm not doing that. And I ended up doing it anyway, because I really love it. And I'm really passionate about education. I did my teaching degree out there as well. And talent is the core of everything that we do. People is the core of everything we do. We need all of our people in armed forces, MOD, to be as trained as possible, because without SQEP, it's just kit sat in a hangar, isn't it? Yeah. So it's really important for mission effectiveness and everything else in operations that we have the best trained people in the world.
Yeah, and I think we'd all agree with that, and especially as the world continually changes, it's as important as ever. And although perhaps with more uncrewed systems, it's maybe we'll come back to that later.
Yeah,
but the world is changing again. And so, how did I know DSET was 10 years old last year, but it's always worth. How did you? What was the inspiration for that? Because you were working with Bohemia, weren't you, at the time?
I was. I was PR director and comms lead for Bohemia Interactive Simulations, now OneArt.
Yeah.
And we were working with 3 1-stars, Army, Navy, Air Force. And they wanted something that was fit for purpose, that addressed their challenges that are now challenges, near term and medium term. And they wanted it to be delivered and led by MOD and military. We didn't want papers submitted, because if you've written a paper and submitted it, it's probably a year out of date by the time you get around to it. And certainly to your point on drones, we can't wait that long in order to get answers to what's important now and what the challenges are now. So I agreed, and they said that they support me, and they've been brilliant. And Bohemia were the first exhibitors, and the first year we had 99 people plus me and a few pop-ups. Last year it was over 2,000.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah,
I was at the first one in the shed, wasn't it, Bristol?
yeah, M Shed. Yeah,
So
people think
M
it
shed,
wasn't
sorry.
a shed, it was M
Yeah,
Shed, and then we
M
moved to
shed.
Ashton
Yeah.
Gate. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, and I think a lot of everyone who's and then you moved to Ashton Gate. When was that?
Mm. Well, year two, because we outgrew M Shed in one
Okay.
year, and then we've now moved from Ashton
Yeah.
Gate.
So
Yeah.
that brings us nicely to that. I was going to pivot to that point. So you
Mm.
tell us about the move to Cheltenham.
So we've kind of got too spread out. And one of the first principles of DSET is to get shit done. Okay. And that everybody is there to listen to the challenges, work peer to peer, and to provide answers into the armed forces as fast enough as possible in order for us to be operationally effective and as brilliant as possible. So we've now moved to a venue where that happens in a really extraordinary way. We've moved to Cheltenham Racecourse and we're in their Centaur building. Now, the expo, because everybody wanted an expo and industry do need to show off their capabilities. And actually, this year we've got a lot of tiny new companies coming, which we're really thrilled about. But it's inside the conference. So the main stage is one side and it's like 40 feet wide. It's huge. And then all of the seating is around the top. And the expo happens inside that space. So we no longer have to chase people back into the conference rooms. You remember me doing that before in the past on the microphone going, get back in the session. Well, we don't need to do that anymore because everybody's in there all the time. And it means that you don't have to zoom off if you want to hear a particular speaker. You can just put on a headset and listen to what they're actually saying because we're going to do everything through an app and through silent disco headsets.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I've been there. It's like a crucible, isn't it?
it is. Yeah.
It's quite an amazing space, and it's not really much to do with horse racing, is it? It's a proper theatre, really. And I noticed, yeah, that obviously there's a large exhibition, more square than
Yeah.
long, isn't it? Yeah. So
Yeah. No, absolutely.
everyone's going to be the same area, but you're also extending it outside. Is that correct?
Yeah, no. So thanks for bringing that up. So for the first time ever at any training show, we're going to be able to show off live training capability. So if anybody's got kit and training systems that are live and incorporate live, virtual and constructive, or just live on their own, we can actually now we've got an outdoor space to do that. And because Cheltenham run their own airspace, they've got a helicopter team there and everything else, we can actually fly drones this year. So we're doing that. We're dead excited. And we've got a few really tiny companies, startups, bringing their drones capabilities, both ground and air, in that space. So that's super cool.
When you say ground, like ground robotics,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay. So, and factoring on the training for those sorts of systems, both in simulation and live, would that be fair? Is that
Absolutely? Yeah. So one of the teams is actually doing live. We've got a live demo schedule for outside. One of the teams has actually got a space on the show floor inside where they're going to be controlling their assets. So in a virtual environment with the live as an inject.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. And then, there's only one step further than that to go live, virtual and constructive, obviously, which is the holy grail of covering all of the environments, isn't it?
Yeah. But also very much connected with contemporary operations we're seeing across the world now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So that's a very important change. So could you, and obviously the new facility gives you that opportunity to do that. So and in terms of the overall plan for the event, what I know, I'm sure you want to tell us about the associated events as well as the simulation of training. Do you want to just talk about the other associated activities?
Yeah. So
you've got
DSET, as we say, does happen for 3 days in June at Cheltenham, but it also happens 365 24/7 because we are part of this community. We're not an event company. We happen to own and run the event that's part of our community. And it's definitely that way around because then everything is really important to us. We're really passionate about getting all of this correct with the right content, with the right people. So on day one, we're going to be very Army heavy because we've got 1,000 Army coming, British Army, in support of the Army Service Women's Network conference that we're running alongside. And we have Lieutenant General Annalie Riley, who's head of MOD procurement, keynoting that day because we've got that partnership and that understanding. So that's going to be amazing. And then Wednesday, sorry, day 2 is going to be drones heavy. We've got Brigadier Stu Nasser, who's the UAS lead for UK Armed Forces and setting up the Uncrewed Systems Centre, leading that charge. So it's going to be uncrewed, space, air is a big focus that day. And then on the Thursday, the final day, we've got the Meet the Buyer, because we're doing that in partnership with ADS. So we've got 10 different organisations coming for people to book in for 15-minute sessions with each of those, plus a big NATO focus, NATO wargaming and Navy focus as well. So although it's going to be multi-domain all week, and you think of it as land, air, Navy heavy in those sort of 3 handfuls going throughout the whole week.
Yeah, and something to appeal to all those key stakeholders of military procurement and industry and academia, of course.
Academia, of course, yeah. And so the programme itself is 95% delivered by military and government, because they're looking at what their challenges are right now. They're coming with their challenges so that they can engage with people to help get those solved.
Yeah, well, I'm very much looking forward to hearing what their challenges are, rather perhaps more than what they're doing, but what their challenges are. I think would be fantastic. So, and what other speakers do you have coming along?
So, well, we're going to actually be publishing the programme this week.
Okay.
Online. Yeah. So if you go to deset.co.uk, by the end of the week, there'll be a full programme on there. And we're onboarding speakers all the time. So unlike other shows, because we're not a show in a way, we actually go and find the people that have got the correct challenges right now. We work with lots of different people who have 100+ volunteers in the background, suggesting speakers from their countries, from their organisations that are going to bring those challenges and budgets, for industry to actually get that shit sorted. Well, it's really important that we talk about procurement as well, because that's an ongoing saga for everybody, not just UK. I think that's the politest way.
It's how I met you, Tess.
Yeah, it's literally how we met. Procurement, exactly. So oh, the irony.
What a story.
Yeah. So having all of those organisations come together in one space to try and solve those challenges, I think is really important, and it's a safe place. We don't want people coming in going, oh, this is same stuff, different year. We want to say, yes, this is a challenge. Now, how would you propose to solve that? Don't just sit there whinging. This is not a whinging environment. This is actually a session to get things done. No whinging allowed. You can say this is a problem, and you can say, how do you think we can solve this? Yeah. Or you can say, this is a problem, here's an idea.
Well, I'm looking forward to going myself. What about Cheltenham itself? If people haven't been there before, maybe from other countries, what would you say about Cheltenham, its facilities?
So Cheltenham is just beautiful, and I was born there, actually, Andy.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's a Regency town. It's in the heart of the Cotswolds. It's absolutely beautiful. The public transport to there is super easy as well. Cheltenham Spa actually stops at the racecourse, so it's really easy to get to from Bristol, Birmingham, London.
I can vouch for that. I did commute from Bristol. Yeah.
Was it 40 minutes or something on the train?
Yeah, from Temple Meads. Yes, so it's very quick, and the buses were good. There you go.
Yeah,
but it's a very I don't really know it, a spa town. Yeah,
it is a spa town, and we've also obviously been getting deals locally with hotels and things to put people up, and they're all in the brewery quarter. Did you know there's a brewery quarter in Cheltenham, Andy?
Should people wish to have a drink? Yes, that sounds.
They should.
Good.
Well,
so should people look at your website for those hotels? And
well, once they book, they get sent that information.
Okay, good. Yeah. So just so people know are listening to this. So and a very sort of novel place, and there won't be horse racing that week, will they?
No, they finish in April, and they don't start again until the end of September, beginning October. So we have a lovely run about it. But of course, it's a beautiful environment as well. And we've got the whole site secure for DSET for the week, not just the building. Oh, and here's something that's a small bonus, but if you're an exhibitor, it's definitely something that they were asking about. It's all free parking. So we've got 3,000 potential spaces should people bring their cars, but we encourage people to come by public transport.
Sustainable. Yes. Exactly. There is a huge, it seemed relatively easy to park and everything that I could see. So that, indeed, not centre of Bristol or anywhere. So I saw that. And just to be clear, there's the DSET event, and then you've got the Army Women event and you've got the wargaming event as separate things, or they're essentially
all
part of
smashed
it?
together. Everybody's
Okay.
smashed together. So the Army Service Women's Network Conference is running alongside and inside DSET this year. So they have the main stage for the first half a day, and then they're breaking out into several different rooms to cover different things. We've also got the body armor team to come and fit service women for body armor, as well as also bra providers, because they don't appear in unit lines. So they're all coming as well, and lots of issues on kit and equipment that do sound like it's all about women, but actually it's about being bespoke for all soldiers and service people. So, and I think that's really important. The other thing about being in Cheltenham as well is on the Tuesday evening, we have the hospitality evening at the Pittville Pump Rooms, which is a gorgeous Regency folly, if you like, in Pittville Park. And that's gorgeous. And then on the Wednesday evening, the Hazels, which is the Space Skills Awards, are hosting a dinner, which everyone at DSET is invited to go and get tickets for, at Cheltenham Town Hall, which is also gorgeous. And there's going to be a big show on. And we've got guests like Helen Sharman coming to give out prizes and things like that. So that'll be amazing. And I can't wait for that. I'm excited.
So people are, as well as working, going to get a very enjoyable week. It sounds like a very everyone's going to learn a lot.
Well, you know, we're saying that DSET is like now to the power of 3, which sounds like a dodgy marketing exercise, but it's not really. We're saying, yes, there's an expo and yes, there's a conference, but it's also a working day. And it's really important to everybody that they get out of DSET what they put in, at least, or even in their attendance. So this year, for example, the first time we're now CPD accredited. So everybody coming along, for every hour of DSET conference you now attend, you will get 1 CPD credit, which you can then download at the end of the week, which is really important because lots of people have to achieve CPD credits during the week, and it means they can come on their training budget rather than.
And CPD accredited to what? It's like a university kind of level, or how is that?
So it's called continual professional development. So for CPD credits, and they're for anybody from industry, military, government, academia. By participating in the conference, you will achieve those credits at the end of the week.
Okay, great. Yeah. And I know you're very passionate about helping the next generation of people in this community, because clearly I'm in the very much later stage. But what about, so you're bringing the younger generation there?
100%.
So next generation.
Next gen. So we have a next gen team. And for those that don't know, we run a DSET intern program. We run a mini DSET intern program during the week where we pay for lots of young people, their accommodation and their travel to come and be part of DSET. They work half a day, and then the rest of the day is for them to go and learn, meet industry, get involved. And these people want to be in defence. They're self-selecting, but quite often, again, they're from non-traditional backgrounds, Andy, and they don't know another route to coming into defence, or it's too overwhelming. So we do a lot behind the scenes throughout the whole year to brief them, support them when they apply online, to actually get them over the line and bring them into the show. And then also we do bigger intern placements with industry, with military, with government, which are 11 months long and cost a fixed amount. And we help them get those placements, and we do all the pre-interviewing, hand-holding and everything else. And any money we get from that goes straight back into the next gen. We don't take a single penny from any of that. And in fact, we spend out way more than we get in every year on next gen, because it's really important to us.
So you're very much doing that for the community, and I think we're all grateful for that. For doing that. And I mean, if I may, looking to the future, how do you think, you've got a huge arc of experience in various aspects, and you've spoken to so many people. How do you see the world of military simulation and training changing or developing in the near and longer term, perhaps? It's a huge question. Or will we need to wait till DSET for us to tell us?
Well,
but seriously,
I might have a different answer. I might have a different answer after DSET.
After DSET, absolutely.
Once I've listened to everybody, but I can
give
you my thoughts. Can give you my thoughts now, Andy.
Yeah.
I think for a long time, training has been seen as a poor relation to kit. That we focus on the equipment, we focus on the capability, and that's bought in isolation from the training and the skills that would be needed in order to operate that in an operational environment. Also, I think, just like the drones thing, that's happened over the last year. Everyone's like, wow, that came out left of field out of nowhere. And yet 10 years ago, people were producing papers and looking at swarming drone capabilities. I both know people in the Netherlands that were doing that, and nothing was taken up of it. And I think we need to be proactive rather than reactive to capabilities and changing operation environments, and also use the technologies that we have in order to support that in an agile way and be a lot more foot forward about what we're developing and where we deliver that to. We can't just be delivering in classrooms because you've got nights out of bed and things like that. We can't just be delivering in unit lines because then you need a way of actually coordinating that and bringing that back to the center. So, there are loads of technologies, apps, serious games, learning environments, which I think we need to get hold of and do much more rapid development to get that in quickly where it's required.
Yeah, I think it's almost like the organisation becomes a learning organisation as much as the individual parts. Is that a message you would think that is a new one, or you think it's a sort of long journey?
I've been briefing quite a lot of teams recently. I won't say where, in the armed forces, and they all love it. But just again, going back to the procurement cycle, it takes so long to get the reasoning done, the business cases done, and then the actual capability over the line, that it might be 2 years before that comes in, and then it's done and gone. And also, these things like serious games aren't expensive. It might be 10K for a whole serious game, but that's their IP forever, and you can use it forever, and you can use it across all forces, especially where there's crossover between, I don't know, small arms training, for example. An SA-80 is an SA-80. It doesn't matter who's using it. Or, cybersecurity principles are cybersecurity principles. Again, it doesn't matter where you're applying those. So there's a lot of common knowledge, common learning that happens across, I guess, the 4 pillars that we're looking at: defence, space, security, and emergency services, that we could have a much better handle on developing these capabilities together and actually sharing them rapidly across all of those 4.
Yeah, which I know is what DSET is all about, and I think it's if ever there was a need to move quickly, it's right now. Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily need to cost a whole load of money. Right. No, that's really interesting. I know you're speak to other groups other than MS&T, so with that message, so it's really good. So is there anything else you'd like to sort of wrap up on? I think we've spoken about you and the event and the future. Is anything else you'd like to add about DSET this year? And I know you're just calling from the studio in Salisbury. What have you got plans for the coming year?
So we do a work and wargaming session every month where you come in the studio. We've got a co-working space here where people can come in the morning and work, and then we have a themed wargame afternoon where if you've got 0 experience of wargaming or 30 years experience, it doesn't matter. Everybody comes together to share knowledge, look at game design, look at outputs. We are looking at AI for analytics for wargaming. We're really interested in generative AI, actually providing op4 into wargaming. There's a lot of debate about that, and AI agents at the moment, which are being wild, Andy, and you'd love some of the stuff that's been doing, including wiping people's hard drives and things like that, which is not good. So there's all of these new capabilities coming in. How can we employ them quickly and safely? Yeah. And what do they give us? What's the impact into our national defence and security? Could it be negative or positive? But we need to look at that really quickly and get that over the line. Yeah,
and I think questioning minds as well. I know there's a sort of line between moaning and problems, but I think there are a lot of it isn't being prepared, isn't it, in a way to listen to the unthinkable, really, isn't it? I mean, some of these things are unthinkable, aren't they?
They are. And I think one of the things we'd like to get more out there is to say that all of this is relevant to everybody. People are like, oh, it's training, simulation, education. I'm not interested in simulation. Every single person has to be trained or educated in some way. Every single person does learning or education every single day. Therefore, your voice and your thoughts and your opinions matter, especially the end users. And that's where we see DSET as being really different. It's a forum really for end users to come along and say, oh, I could learn like this, or I learn like that. Have you thought about this? It's a real opportunity for you as an
Yeah.
end user, from private to full star, to actually get your views across and incorporated in what's going to be there to go forwards.
We're all learning.
We're all learning.
Talking of that,
Yeah.
maybe just drawing this close, tell us about Tess and your PhD. Tell us about that before we. What's
So,
the?
so I'm a wargaming nerd, as you know, and I love it, and I wish I could do it every day. In fact, I spent most of the bank holiday doing it. So last year I worked with SONAC at the Cabinet Office to deliver some work looking at the differences in strategic thinking or strategic decision making across different sexes, across male-only groups, mixed gender groups, and or female groups. I'm taking the outputs from that because there's a lot of outputs that are really starkly different, and saying, how can we use those now to positively impact defence and positively impact security delivery? And I'm taking it to look at two areas. One we've just mentioned, which is drones and operators and the training and delivery of that, but also the protection of civilians. Because if you look at it, and especially the conflicts that we've got going on right now, although our international law and NATO engagement rules say that you have to, consider everything possible for this, or if we changed it to make that a little bit more of a central tenet, how would that change our military operations and missions, and could we actually do it? So
Yeah,
that's where I'm going next, and then I've got a phase 3, which I won't go into, but I'm presenting on that at King's Wargaming Week in a couple of weeks' time.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I won't be going, but it sounds good, and I hope all the best for that, especially while you're organising this, major conference in the year.
Yeah.
So, Tess, I'm going to just draw that to a close, but thank you so much for your time today. We're very much looking forward to the event, and we'll be reporting on it. So, Tess Butler and the Ruddy Nice team, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andy Fawkes.